to fight and conquer in all our battles is not supreme excellence. Supreme excellence consists in breaking the enemy's resistance without fighting. Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Barrow speaking. Welcome to another episode of... Well, we did it. We actually went and did it. If people are not aware, just watching this casually, it has been my ambition, ever since even before Gacha Life 2 came out, to create and release the first voice-acted Gacha Life 2 production. There have been many ups and many downs. More downs than ups, I will admit. But today, that goal has in fact been achieved. The people above has claimed the title for its own. And it wasn't easy because there was a rival. There was another thing that was going to come out in the exact same expanded universe, written by pretty much the exact same people, containing the exact same people, but just on a separate channel. So it wouldn't have counted. But today we're going to look through both of those, or at least I want to anyway. As it turns out, I just tried right now. It seems that it doesn't want to let me download the other videos. I might have to get someone else to send me the file. But oh well. Doesn't matter. We're starting this off and we're doing it properly, and we're going to actually feature the reviews, and I will let my guests in because they are screaming to me in the void. So first of all, we're going to introduce of the runner-up to the world record, our usual guest, Aiden de Best.
Break up is a podcast, be canceled. Kidding. How dare you? I told you about this 2 weeks ago, or well, a week and a half ago. How dare you? You evil mastermind. It's not, I don't care. How dare you, though? I'm offended. I'm not. I don't really care.
Yes, it was it was tempting a few times to be just like, hey, let's let us slowly roll a bit, but no, I couldn't do that to you. It had to be more precise. It had to be more underhanded. It had to be more of a...
It had to be more evil.
Exactly.
That's what you are. You're evil. You're an evil man.
Pretty much, but hey, that's show business. Oh well. The people above, of course, was not just us this time, as it normally was. We have a third writer, and person that actually did help out with this video. She did one of the scenes, designed a few of the characters, and
I did some early designs, but I think they never got used. So.
Oh wait, actually, one of them did.
Yeah, there was Rabbit Girl.
Precisely. Anyways, let's introduce the. Speaking of rabbit girls, here is a wolf girl.
Hi, I help.
I don't think that counts. I don't think her being a wolf counts.
I don't know if you've seen.
They're not really related. Rabbits and wolves aren't related, man. I don't know if you know that or not.
They're related by the idea of them being both mammals and being fused with a human in this context.
Okay, but that's like saying they both have cells. Therefore, they're related, just like me and a table.
I was trying to find a segue into this.
Well, also, I found a segue.
You say tables? Tables don't have cells. What do you mean?
Yes, they do. Everything's made out of cells.
Yes, they do.
It's made out of atoms, not cells.
Oh, yeah.
Same
I agreed. I am the top science student in my class, and I really agreed with the fact that
look, okay, I'm dumb, but it's okay. I'm cute enough to get away with it.
Probably. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the table.
The circles in this rock are the same in the circles of meat. Therefore, we will feast Darwin. All right. Well, there has been a little bit of a hitch because, like I said before, it doesn't let me download the Mrs. Dysart episode for some reason.
Oh,
So
well,
yeah.
say no more.
Thank you. But I guess in the meantime, we will start off with the one that came out on this channel. Which, it's not, of course, it's not saved.
Wait, hey, let me upload the whole video to Discord. I mean, I guess it's only 4 minutes, but you know.
Wait, unless you want me to, unless you want me to, like, we can do Mrs. Dysart first, actually.
I would prefer Mrs.
Dysart first in something.
How dare you!
Jacob,
Don't you know I could have uploaded it? Even before, I could have uploaded it before Fallen Angel episode 8 of season 2 came out.
Yeah, you could have uploaded like 2 weeks ago. I'm so glad you didn't.
I didn't jump to upload it because I wanted a consistent thing, and I didn't want my channel being dead for a while. I wanted to have more content out at a steady pace.
Yeah, that's the advantage of doing these streams, is that I always have something active.
Mr. Butterman, you didn't do your advertising. Discord.
We did enough advertising. It's fine. Please, let's start streaming.
My 3 notifications per live stream from 2 separate group chats and
as in like the stream.
server.
Yes.
I know. Listen, we did enough advertising in general.
I'm flattered that you think I just have sent 3 notifications. I don't know. I sent.
Yeah, it's like 7.
Okay, here we go.
I get 3, and they're the pride of joy of my night.
That's kind of sad.
I mean, I've
You know what
felt
else
like
is
you'd
sad?
be
Get
annoyed
nice.
at them because
You know what
they
else
tend
is
to-
sad?
my goodness.
Your parents not liking you.
What? Where did that come
Like
from?
you either.
Listen, it's complicated technically.
Hey,
Listen.
speaking of
I would
parents,
hope my parents love me. I'm their only child.
speaking of only children, here's Mrs. Dysart dropping off her only child in a parked car in the middle of a road.
Yes.
Like, she's not even like a little sign, she's like dead center. When I saw that, I thought you were gonna like animate the car moving or something, and that was like the
I
first
do
glimpse.
that eventually.
Yeah, but that was like the preliminary thing. But no, what you sent before was like the actual video. Anyways, without further ado, with the review.
Bye, mommy.
Oh, okay, of course, that was meant to be the interruption. She's like a siren, like Miles's dad does, and a megaphone.
She just honks her horn.
It.
She just honks her horn like, oh.
I forgot to say hi to the chat as well. Yeah, so hi to Josh, Prism, and KW. I'm going quickly because again, Aiden has to go.
Eventually. Yes. She drives. Ooh, car noises. Ooh, my beautiful logo, which is kind of ugly, but shh.
I mean, it's like the same as the People Above logo, actually, which you also made.
Ghosty was like, oh, I need to make a new logo. I need to make it like, dang, it's my art that compels her to make us art. It's my terrible art that compels her to make amazing art.
Yeah,
For us.
and my rush production that meant it so that I wasn't thinking about the logo beforehand, and I was just like, okay, here's the stuff I need to do.
I sent a mock logo that could have been
these
logo.
angles, do these sound effects. Yes. So that was the only version. I looked up in our group as well. I saw logo.
Yeah, no.
Anyway,
Emily,
about that show yet.
Emily was gonna make a look.
make
Emily was gonna
one.
try her hand, but she forgot.
In my defense, you could have asked me when I was making. Now I was.
Oh my
right
god!
and ready.
Again, it
The
didn't
only
actually.
day I had motivation.
Yeah, it didn't cross my mind because by that point I was so stressed trying to actually get the video. I was like, okay, I need to make this. In fact, the reason I messaged you in DMs was A, so Aiden didn't see it in the group chat, so he wouldn't know what I was up to.
Okay,
and
to
B,
be wait. But here's the thing: if you actually messaged where I could see it, or if I knew you were trying to get it out by a certain deadline, I could go to people. I will remind people, hey, this thing's coming up. We need this. Please send it in. Like,
well, the person who would have been reminded about it would have been Emily in this case, because actually what I was saying was that the scene. No, she didn't need reminding. It was the scene that she'd already like agreed to do. I was just like, wait, because I thought to myself, okay, there's a part here that I can actually, that if I actually like move this back to the episode that was originally supposed to be in, rather than like having the last theme be stitched on again. And also I got rid of this part, which actually like also relates to here, and make it so that the time matches up differently, which does work. I did check it. If I did that, then I actually had enough time. And as soon as I realized that, I was like, okay, then the only thing I'd be doing in this situation would be waiting for someone else. That's gonna be a panic situation as well, because then it's like, well, I can't exactly, I won't have any control over that. So that's why that's why I DM'd Emily saying like, okay, so we're able to do this one, because I was gonna say if it's gonna take her too long, I was gonna say, okay, fine, I'll take this one, and then that be it. But then she said, I can do this in a day, and then did it in 3 hours. So there you go. So yeah, it worked out, but it was yeah, it was essentially, you know, unhinged mental state Jacob trying to complete this. Anyway, we're talking about the wrong video again. Need to focus on this one. Why was his phone dislocated? He was like balancing it in his hand like this. Where's my phone? I don't have my phone with me. Imagine this is a phone. Oh, look at that. See, this is how people hold their phones, right? In their knuckle.
Karis, you made it.
Is that not how you
And I
hold
guess
the
he
phone?
stores
So
it.
out of mine.
He also stored it in his ear. Did you see that? He put it behind his head and it's gone now. It's like being held by his ear.
His true talent is being a magician.
Okay, guys. I'm gonna turn on my camera. I can't turn on my headphones right now, but I'm gonna turn on my camera.
If you're Scooby,
put me in the center.
Are you gonna be Scooby? There you go. I thought so. It would have been funnier if you just turned on your camera, you were already Scooby, like dead center. That would have been a jump scare.
Okay, I'm putting on my headphones now.
Hey, you guys want to see my camera?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, beautiful! Oh my god,
camera.
that was a great visual. This visual.
Honestly,
Man, did you wear makeup today? Because man, you're glowing.
Oh, I look so pretty. I could take the sticker off, to be fair. It's a pathetic cupcake sticker that I cut off a FNAF sticker. 1 a.m.
Oh god. There's something I want to say about the cupcake from the FNAF movie. Well, I'm not saying it.
Okay.
The job of my daughter.
What matters is you show up. Half our teachers don't even do that.
I like the principal's design. He's cool. He looks nice.
He looks like early purple guy when he was pink guy.
Ha! He is.
I'm sorry that Shaggy is right now the purple guy.
I liked him as purple guy though. He's cool. Also, Shaggy's awesome. I love Shaggy.
Also, now I'm just picturing, because like you said, like when a guy like with purple hair and a magenta suit is like in front of me, so all I can think of is him now going, like, you're hired, man.
Oh my god, that's what happened. Imagine that happened in the FNAF movie. It didn't happen.
I meant like this is Dice Arts, but that too.
Oh no, okay, he was like a career counselor in the movie. So yes. So technically that could have happened.
Interesting.
That could have happened. He didn't say that. I don't think they cared about the Shaggy connection.
This is Dice Art in the FNAF movie confirmed?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Yes.
I'm gonna make a prediction now and say that at some point the nerdcore community is going to make a song, like a song / rap or two about counselor guy as the guy purple guy, and with Scooby-Doo references in it, but also like the song is like about recruiting someone to join, you know, Fazbear Entertainment. That's gonna be the song. That's my prediction. That's gonna someone's gonna do that. Probably the Stupendium, if I imagine correctly.
Has definitely been felt, especially by the class he left behind.
Oh?
Yes, they weren't doing so well beforehand.
I forgot if the implication was the old teacher was dead or not. Like, His absence was felt,
Uh,
especially by the
it-
class he left behind. Like,
it
I just heard
wasn't-
that now. It's like, huh, okay.
Okay, to be fair, one we wrote this months ago, but two, it was never actually clarified. So he either left or he's dead. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I haven't thought about it like that.
Honestly, you don't need to have an answer. It might be more fun to speculate. We can just leave it open ended.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
given what happened, they just
He was subbing at the school
perhaps it
because that's definitely in the right timeline.
Well, it is. It technically it is in the right timeline. Wrong country though. We're in Canada. She's in Canada.
Oh yeah, well he went
see-
all the way
She's not
to
in
Florida
Florida.
to go substitute.
Why would you
So,
go? Why
yeah,
would
no,
you
he
go
went
from
playing
Canada
substitute
to
at
Florida?
school.
That's a long time ago. That's
And then
far
that's-
away, man. Also, I mean,
And
I don't think Canada.
he-
For what I know about Canada, I don't think it's great. But at the same time, let's be honest.
It's an improvement.
Anything's better than Florida. Okay, I'm sorry. No, anything is better than Florida.
Honestly, I don't remember why I chose that state. I'm not.
Why
I don't know
did
why.
you choose a state? I mean, honestly, I would expect you to pick Texas. Because, your roots, technically.
I think that would have been even worse.
Yeah, okay, that's also just as worse. But what about a better state?
Also, I only lived in Texas for 2 years.
Well, it's technically your roots. Okay, you
Yeah.
didn't live there long, but
Yeah, what I mean is that I have more of a connection to North Carolina, honestly.
Why did you pick that? That would be objectively better than Florida.
Oh no, I remember why I did that now. It's because of the quote from the Mutant Girl. It's from the quote from episode 7. Like the "Beware Macduff, beware the Thane of Fife," the Macbeth quote that I was referencing with Moana Marvick's text. Yeah, it was because that was "Beware Pot, beware the Thane of Florida." I wanted like something that started with an F, and that's the first state that started with an F that I thought of.
I don't know. Aren't there other states that start with Florida?
I actually don't think there are.
Oh. We need some more F states because okay, let's be real.
Actually,
If
no,
Florida-
because it's Delaware, Florida, Georgia. That's how it goes. Yeah, there's no A, there's no E's, there's one F.
Dang, the F's in the state names are terrible. Let's be honest. Florida's your representation for F.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it is a fail. I guess it is a fail technically.
Can I get some Floridas in the chat, please?
Oh my god. Oh god. No. I never want to live in Florida. Never.
For the last time, I'm not coming to your stupid party, Evelyn.
Okay, but you turning this down makes literally no sense. Literally.
Why do you even want me there? I hate parties, and you hate me. The only reason you'd be asking is if you didn't have enough people for a full house.
Yeah, I'm noticing a lot of the sitting poses of these are like them lifting up their hands like this and going back down again. I mean, I understand why, obviously.
To be fair, it's more movement than in Gacha Club. It's more movement in Gacha Club.
It does, yeah. It is. There is still an improvement in that aspect. At least the custom poses do work to your benefit.
What? Nuh-uh. I have so many RSVPs. I RS all the VPs.
What does that even mean?
My favorite delivery of this entire episode. What's that even mean?
Yes.
Oh, now I see why. Now I see what's happening. So Bob mentioned before that Franklin's body here was leaving the chair or something. I can see now that actually he's rolling at a different speed to his body moving. So you said it was pre-rendered, which makes sense. But I'm guessing that whenever the two keyframes
they're
synced up, they were done separately.
Yeah, I look, okay, I really did try to have them be synced up. It's very hard to make sure he's rolling at the exact same speed. The only way to do it was if I rendered a version of Franklin with all his poses and all his talking in the chair, and then I moved it. But again, that's a lot, and that would require me exiting my project and going to a new project and doing a whole bunch of stuff like that. And I don't really want to do that, to be honest.
Either that or take the layout that the chair's on, the layout that Franklin is on, then delete the keyframes temporarily, render out the thing with where it should be synced up to his audio already. Render that out first of all, put the keyframes back in, and then replace the footage of one of them on the timeline, so you're gonna have to have at least one set of keyframes.
I'll come to your party, Evelyn.
Yeah, he's like sitting on the wheel right now. I think that must be very uncomfortable.
Nah, well, he's grabbing the wheel.
Hmm.
That's how wheelchairs work. You like use your hands, I think.
Yes, I know, but I'm saying position-wise, he looks like he's sitting on the wheel.
Oh, no, never again, Franklin.
Again?
Oh, yeah.
Again? You?
Again?
You again?
Again? That's kind of strange.
Mhm.
Last year, she and I.
Wait, never mind. I don't care. Leave me alone, both of
I
you.
think some of the faces I pull on some of these characters are cute. Oh my god, some of these expressions are cute.
Some of them. I'm confused by like half of them, but the other half really do work.
Hey,
I mean, Franklin was a bit neutral there after he like rolls away. Like he would have been like a bit more dejected, I would have thought.
Todd, wanna come to my party?
Oh, come on!
Not as
Again, whenever I do something that's like I take my phone away and like I have to like yell into it from a distance, people find that funny. It worked for Lady Mania, it worked for this too.
a date, Franklin. God. Gross.
Sad boy.
Yeah. Gross. Totally.
Seriously.
Okay, one thing that I do love about this is like that this scene has to introduce like 5 separate characters and like work on like their individual dynamics as the scene's progressing without like spelling out any of it. And that's not exactly an easy task, but we do actually get like an idea of it all the way through.
Get some standards, bro.
And obviously some context goes like, bro, that works too.
You're one to talk.
What we also get is Mrs. Dice.
I mean, to be
off the
fair,
corner.
they're very obviously twins. Like, they literally look very similar. Like, pretty much, you know, exact
They
same
do,
hair
yes,
color
but
and
this
exact
is
same skin tone specifically.
They do, yes, but this is gacha that we're talking about here, so people might not clock onto
Yeah.
that necessarily.
You never dated anyone.
Yeah, don't wanna. You get all the thirsty genes in the wound.
Did not.
In the wound. When you can't get your voice actors back. When your VAs quit so you can't make them re-record.
Did too.
Okay, so here's another thing as well. I'm pretty sure that I think when we originally like wrote this scene, Mrs. Dysart wasn't supposed to be in the room at the time.
No, she was in the
room.
room. No, she was in the room, meant to be in the room.
Okay, because it seems very weird that she was just observing all this happening while they're clearly like this dysfunctional group is just interacting and she's just there. We can see her like in the corner, like staring at them from the side.
It's
I mean,
more
some
or
people
less the
think that
idea
one,
of her
like-
soaking it in and getting to see how they are normally versus the idea of coming in there and interrupting it, because then she would have to get a vibe. She would have to feel out the class as a whole without naturally, and it'd be a bit more challenging for her because then she would have to ask questions or make statements that would get reactions to the class, so she'd get a vibe.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, you're right. I guess I just thought of that because like I remember when I did some teaching, immediately everyone's eyes like dart towards you as soon as you enter the room, and they just tend to quieten down. But I guess this group just didn't even notice that she was there.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't really say anything too. She didn't go and be like, "Hello, class." She's just like kind of just went in.
No, she's just looming at like a very close distance away from them, admittedly.
Also, I like this motion I do here.
Yeah.
See, okay, the light flick. Okay, I did it with custom poses. It's really
the actual flick of the wrist.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you have a little sound effect to accompany it, just to clarify. Yes, she's in fact flipping a light switch, and it's like, oh yeah. And then when I turned on the lights later in the scene, I just reversed the shot, just instead of like I started her hand down, and then it went up, and then I had the sound effect, and it's like bam.
That's fair. When we get to the people above again, I'll talk about all the looped animation I used.
I mean, that's kind of what you have to do sometimes. Like
Oh yeah, but I would put Code Lyoko to shame.
Yeah, but in episode 2, I looped some of the walking animations. Like I made a handful of walking animations for some of the characters, and I just started looping them. I'm like, I'm not gonna sit here and like edit and like film the whole walking segment all over again.
We got a question from Josh. When Mrs. Dysart's blush, that might have been a mistake. I'm not sure.
Technically, I don't know. I didn't really clock on that she naturally had a blush, but I feel like the blush is more or less representative of makeup when it's like the small little blush, right?
I don't know.
There's,
I
like,
mean,
no.
Moana has it constantly,
I mean,
so maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's always kind of confused me because, like, is the character actually naturally blushing? Is it makeup? Is it just your way of showing like some sort of like skin? Like maybe some areas of the skin are slightly more tan than others. Like that always kind of confused me. I'm gonna be honest.
It depends. Like depends. Like a lot of the time, people get like a natural blush actually if they have like a lot of fresh air.
I mean, because I always interpreted it as makeup. Like that's why Evelyn specifically, when designing her, I gave her blush because she's wearing makeup, a little bit of like some pink makeup on her cheeks just to like brighten up her face because
I guess that's more of a contrast.
The
Yeah.
beginning, there was chaos and empty.
This is what I was saying before on KW's stream, where the microphone sort of peters out at this point. Like in the beginning, there was chaos, but then the chaos line was like there was chaos.
I mean, you can still hear it unless my volume's just really high, man.
Well, I mean, we know what it says as well. I'm not sure if that's entirely clear to everyone else.
Void, a great nothingness. From chaos from the first season to happen at the
I guess you can fill in the gaps because from chaos, like it feels again like yeah, that's the word you missed.
cosmos. The first order.
Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish what you started.
Fine. They are also called departmental deities. Does anyone know their names?
I'm just remembering the joke of like the fact there's 5 people in this room, so every time they whisper to each other, Mrs. Dice is like, don't think I didn't hear that. But we didn't do that in this episode yet.
That's in episode 2 though.
Yeah.
They were Gaia, the Earth, Nyx, the night itself,
And I think Emily made a comment about this somewhere where it's like, oh, 5 people in a class, that's weird. And listen, okay, if I had more people in a class,
I have taught classes with fewer people in them.
Listen, it would be very hard to teach like a class of 20 students. Like you'd have to give them their own personalities, their own designs. Not to mention you'd have to fill up the room somehow, and like all that space you'd have to use, and you'd have to shrink things. Basically, it's a mess. I prefer having these 5 characters be fully characterized and be able to put all my designing them versus having to focus on 20 characters.
This is essentially Aiden has learnt from Fallen Angels in the sense of not introducing so many of them at the same time.
Well, to be fair, Fallen Angels started small. Like I think in episode 1 only really introduced I think like 4 technically. But even then, most of the characters were pretty not really developed or really focused on that much. Like Kurt was in there for a scene to get a vibe, but he didn't really do much. And then Alana was only really got real characterization towards the end of the episode. Like the main 2 who really got the characterization and focus were Adam and Zach. But and Thanatos again got introduced, but he wasn't really focused on or developed much. He was just like, he's here.
Well, yeah, a lot of them got introduced early on. But I remember we had like a lot of conversations about some of the. This was the time of early Fallen Angels was the time when you and I were like going back for about the mutant girl and how certain characters didn't have like that many lines per episode or something like that. So you're like, oh yes, that's because they're supporting roles. But meanwhile, you obviously like a lot of the time you skew like the emphasis to make sure that everyone did at least something in the episode, even if it wasn't super relevant or they really had no place in that particular storyline.
Something in a future episode that will eventually do it, and just like building it up. Again, Fallen Angels is very much a narrative that continues over the course of each episode. Versus certain like that way, like again, I don't like things coming out of nowhere because I don't ever want like Destroyed to be like, and now this is a thing. It's like imagine the whole campaign storyline only started in episode 6 of Fallen Angel season 2, and then say it hypothetically ended in episode 8. Like that would be a very quick storyline. And come out of nowhere being like, oh yes, Campy's after Harvey, he's a mutant. Ooh, like, oh what? Where did this come from?
I mean, if anything, it's still a bit of a surprise, but it's less of a surprise.
Yes, episode 1 foreshadowed by having him in the background, and
but this is not the point that I was trying to get across. The point I was trying to get across was that this around the time of early Fallen Angels, they made sure that like there was like a lot of protagonists that were battling for attention sometimes in season 1. And in this situation, yes, it's set up like off the bat that yes, you have all the other characters in here, but also that this is like the main set. There will be supporting roles going forward, but at least you're open to the idea of supporting role, because that back in the day that was like a taboo word for you. So I'm saying again, that's the evolution that's happened here. The disadvantage of that, of course, is the length of these episodes, and therefore there's not enough time really to go into a lot of detail about the things that we bring up, but that'll become more apparent in future episodes, not necessarily this one.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the way I try to compensate for that just in future episodes is by primarily focusing on a character or two and having the rest of the characters.
It's still a struggle. It's still a struggle sometimes, because you want to go into something a bit more intrinsic about this, or like have like a bit more of a nuanced spin, and it becomes a drawback. We've talked about this in scripting as well.
Yeah,
the fact that these episodes are so short.
Which we do need to sit down and script episode 4 and 5 eventually, because I want to start collecting lines for that maybe next week, maybe.
Well, I've got yet another thing I've got to do before that, so you might have to go forward without me on that one, but it depends.
5. Tartarus, the birthplace of monsters, and finally Eros, the first and most primal form of love.
I like that guy.
5 creatures, all validate their own rights, most of them every different to each other. But somehow, from the mouth of chaos, they forge order and harmony together. I wonder, can the same be said for the 5 of you in due time?
So this is another reason why there's 5 of them, technically, because, we're talking about, like, the primordial
deities.
I can't speak. But we're talking about them in this conversation, and there are 5 of them, and there are 5 students in the class, therefore, I mean, granted, it's not really the case where each deity lines up with one of the students.
We did consider doing that, but we dropped the idea fairly quickly, because
that would be a lot of work. That would be a lot of work, especially for a single episode, because, like, again, this would be serious divining.
I mean, even on an idea like Erebus and Nyx, they don't exactly have much that is discussed about them. They have like maybe a few things. I mean, Erebus, basically nothing. Gaia has a ton, obviously. Eros as well. Tartarus is like, vague. So not really. So, and a lot of them, like, the perception of them is very similar. Like, the personification of the night and the darkness itself versus, the literal Tartarus. I mean, where's the variation there? So we kind of decided that we'll just let the characters be the characters, and we'll use the dynamics we already have, rather than trying to stitch on the primordial deities to all of them. I mean, Franklin and Eros, like that line, that makes more sense because of, he's the odd Delarobi of this series, but we'll get to him later. Not this episode.
We'll see. For now, my name is Mrs. Dysart. I think we're all gonna get along just fine.
And that's the end of the episode.
There you go. Good old cliffhanger. I mean, that is one way to introduce yourself into a classroom. That's for sure.
She's so eccentric, and I love her for it.
Of course. And I guess that's why she ended up getting a spin-off.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, suddenly she served an outer purpose in The Mutant Girl, put her in a different show. She has a little bit of like an off time, put her in a spin-off. One of those situations, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the show doesn't even need to affect Fallen Angels at all. This is just kind of what her day-to-day life is, because she does, in fact, have a day-to-day life. This is what she does normally. We just
the
don't
only
really
character in Fallen Angels that has that for the most part, I think.
Well, to be fair, they don't really need money. They don't really need to worry about money. Adam kind of is a gold mine. Literally.
Yes, there is that, but like at the same time, yeah. At the same time, like, to do something else. I guess you could also say Trevor, but that's a whole other rabbit hole.
Yeah, I mean, hey, they have lives outside. Well, very few of Fallen Angels characters have lives outside.
That's my point. That's my point. That very few of them do. Mrs. Dysart are the only ones who does, and that's apparent in this situation.
Yes. So we actually get to see what her life is like. Ooh.
Yeah.
Or at least her day to day when she's
Yep.
not researching about spears.
Yeah, the other fallen angels thing, of course, is the fact that is it that the way the fallen angels affect the series actually is that she's going to have to rely on them to teleport her back and forth to Canada and Florida because she has a joint custody with her husband, her
Yeah.
ex-husband. So Sophia is just going to live off teleportation for a bit, but hey, whatever works for them. So fallen angels, that's that mystical aspect is not addressed in the series, but
it does happen. Maybe one day there'll be a scene like, oh hey Zach, yeah, how was teleporting Sophia to crap, whatever Mr. Diceheart's name is. We haven't actually came with a name. Whatever, Mr. Diceheart's house. Oh, good. Just.
Oh yeah, how was a tedious and normal process? Oh, it was fine. This is why I hate small talk. It's just like every time it's like, why? Do you actually care about this for real? Anyway, that's my gripes aside. We have very little time to get this because Aiden's got to go soon, and we have another video to address. Of course.
Yeah, I may have to go now technically, just make sure just in case traffic. So.
And case in point.
Okay. I may watch the stream back, but general thoughts on the people above. It was good. Jacob stole my thunder. How dare he? No, it's fine. I don't care. But yeah, so the people above I think it's good. I don't know. I think the movement is good.
Oh, thank goodness for that, because that's the one. That's the thing with Gacha Life 2.
I mean, it's flawed. Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I like in Emily's scene how we have multiple perspectives, like how we get a shot of the table.
Yeah.
With the moving of papers. I thought that was so cool. Like, I want to do that more in my series. Like, I would love to play around with perspective. I'm not good at it, and I don't know where to begin with it. I'm gonna be honest. So.
Yeah, I saw it in a couple of videos back in the day. I saw it in Taming the Bad Boy, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where to start with that. Anyways,
it's one of those classic and old effects that's,
So, yeah, I mean, technically I kind of did that with a bit of episode 2 because I have multiple shots of the outside in a way where I got the different backgrounds that are all part of the same, like, field near the school, technically. Like, you have one near the soccer field itself, and a playground.
Yeah, and either William or Quasi did it for the Mutant Girl when Malvik receives a call, and I'm pretty sure it's the call from Morwenna at the time, and he picks that up.
No, it was from Julius.
Oh, it was from okay.
Margaret called Julius, and I edited half that.
Oh,
I edited.
Here's my phone. Here's my phone. There you go. Knuckle hold.
I edited the Margaret. I edited the Julius part of that scene, and William. No. Wait, did I? No, wait, I edited the Margaret part of that scene, and Julius. This part of the scene was edited by William.
So William did the thing that I mentioned before. So that was what I was. That's the important bit.
I have all this Mutant Girl trivia in my head. Anyways,
if people don't know, that was what Aiden's referring to is the fact that it's a split screen thing, so it wasn't entirely done by one person. And yeah, that's again not what I was getting at, but the part that it starts off with no split screen with the phone there. Okay, let's watch some people above.
Okay, I gotta go. Also, yes. Who will?
I did notice that Emil like shrinks and expands a few times.
Yeah, it's like my makeshift green screening, except I did it all through IBS Paint. I erased the background because I realized I don't know how I'm gonna edit this without green screen because of all the props I shift in the background, and there are no props in Gacha Life. So I realized pretty quickly. I was like, crap. So I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna go through IBS Paint, do individual exports of the and hope that he doesn't keep doing that. Well, I failed, but
I'll tell you
it
the
was
other
just
option. I'll tell you the option. Film Emil in just the background itself, and then put the table in the foreground. Now the telescope further to the right. Oh, I guess no, he has to walk over, doesn't he? So never mind, that won't work. That
yeah.
wouldn't have worked.
I did think that was actually my original plan, and then he also was in front of the chalkboard at one point as well.
Yeah. I did whatever I could with the existing backgrounds in Gacha Life 2 because I knew that was going to be another tedious process if I didn't use what was already there. I knew that was the faster method, even if I do actually technically prefer the other one where with Gacha Club or Gacha Life actually where you can actually sometimes film everything film things what you need to film on the green screen and then put the background underneath it if you know that's going to look like. But yeah, on the rare occasion it also takes a lot longer, but the end result, if you know what you're doing, is better.
I do it! I do it!
I was doing this while I was recording that. And there's the other logo that looks like the other one from Aiden. He was on a roll with, I guess, logos in books. Although, importantly, here actually, the detail to bear in mind are the 3 items on the screen. So we have the crown, which is the same one that was worn by Princess Moesha and Michaela.
Essentially not.
Well, it's a princess
It's
crown.
Michaela's crown. It's also the wrong dual color because I made them
Oh,
red.
that's right. Yeah, the reason that crown's in my head is because like I had to mask around that, which I will talk about later. But yeah, that was a struggle for me. But yeah, so it's a princess crown, so that's meant to be symbolic of Moesha, even if it's apparently not. The telescope, of course, was Emil, which is not the same one because again, that was done after this. This logo made earlier because it was a mock-up, and the sword is actually for the other main character of this series that doesn't actually make an appearance in this episode, but will in the next one.
Everything is in order. You may pass.
And I was going to have the background like fade into the daytime, but I didn't actually have enough footage to do that, and I always like showed the character reading something beforehand, so I couldn't slow it down.
Welcome to the Royal Palace.
Oh, I forgot the footsteps. This is gonna be just a thing of me like, oh, I should have done this. Again, in the moment where I'm just like, get it done, 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 get it done. I don't apply the usual exact quality control with some of these things.
The usher will announce you as soon as you enter the ballroom.
Lord and Lady Perro Muerto.
Yeah, see, like that, for example. So many things here immediately because this was meant to be like either to like a flash transition or I guess like a wipe transition, the same way that AFMAO does things. But I didn't have my AFMAO sound effects anymore. I think they were on like the old hard drive or something. I haven't used them since. And I could have like gone, I was going to try and find them again, but the clock was ticking. This was done, like all the episodes put together were done today. So like there wasn't much else in the moment that I could do. So, oh well. And then, of course, I was meant to put on the screen the translation for Perro Muerto, which means dead dog. This is actually a joke from a comic book series called Modelo and Filemon, which is the most famous Spanish comic series of all time, and which ran for like 65 years or something like that. And the creator of it, who was still doing it up until this year, only just like died this year. So yeah, very, very well known, like a very huge part of Spanish culture. And there's one joke in there where one of the main characters, who's known for being very dumb, actually does like read out Lord and Lady Perro Muerto in this situation, and the actual name was Perry Morton. So there you go.
Oh. Perry.
Oh, that's another thing. Sorry. Creative commentary mode. So the way that I made the baton sound effect, I do my own Foley sometimes. So what I did was I took my microphone off of my headset, used my wand like this, and put it to the table. Like that. And that's how that was made. Oh, hello to TDD33. Don't recognize that name, but hello to you.
Morton, good sir. You really ought to watch what you call others.
Oh, let's
That was meant to be like British Napa, but it failed.
go, dear. I believe I see the Hashibas from here.
I still can't believe that's BB's voice. I did not recognize it as her voice originally.
Neither did
I
KW,
remembered
apparently.
and I was like, wait.
KW was like, wait, is that BB Butter? It sounds like BB Butter. Like, what is the camera? Is that her? I can't tell. It's like, what? And then I'm just like, check the credits. Just check the credits. You're watching the video. You haven't downloaded it. You can just check the credits in the description. It's there. But oh well. Yes, that is BB.
See you again. I cannot believe that ghastly usher.
And that is Shorty. I cast them as two gossiping ladies who are friends because that's what they are.
I know! The nerve!
Do my eyes deceive me, or is this little hyacinth?
Not so little anymore, but yes. Hard to believe, isn't it?
It's always a pleasure.
Oh, and so polite, too. She's grown into a fine young woman.
Indeed. No doubt like the princess.
There's the rabbit woman. There's Rabbit Girl, the one that Aiden made.
Not her, the other one. The one whose 14th birthday we're here to celebrate.
Ah, yes. Speaking of whom,
That's what I call natural
you're just
exposition.
in time. She's scheduled to appear within the next hour.
Ladies and gentlemen, lordettes and ladyettes of the land, please
Welcome back to my street 5 years later.
divert your attention here, for the birthday girl is about to appear.
I told you that was still set in our time zone.
Okay, yeah, so people mentioned the eye roll. I didn't realize where the preset eyes were. If I'd known where those were, I wouldn't have bothered with that, but hey, I know how to do it now, because Gacha Life 2 allows that much more easily. Okay, so about that scene. In theatre, there's actually a practice that's not really done anymore, but it was like a thing from like up until the early 20th century, really, kind of, where it comes from Shakespeare, I think, where the main character isn't introduced until like a few scenes in, and you first of all get the impressions that some of the other characters have who will either become important or know of the main character later on, and you get sort of like that idea of what they're like beforehand. So like, for example, I guess the stuff that I learned in English class, Journey's End by R.C. Sheriff, there's that like beforehand when they talk about with Captain Hardy and Lieutenant Osborne, there's a whole conversation about Stanhope before he even arrives and like what he's actually like. And then as soon as Stanhope enters, we have like if he's got his first actions, we have an immediate idea of what he's like. Same idea sort of with Macbeth, where we hear about like his major accomplishments in the battle and where he's like being decorated, which is also like a dramatic irony of him being a Thane of Cawdor as well, which doesn't know yet, which is why it's such a surprise when it happens to him later, even though we know it's already happened before because the witches predicted it. But yeah, so it's been going on for a long time, and that's basically to clue the audience in. But in this situation, you'll see what I do with that. And now, that's also why I didn't cut the scene, by the way. It was also the first one that I did back when we'd organize the scenes between each other, seeing what we were going to do, because this may be like a collaborative between like myself, Emily, and Aiden. We would be voicing most of the characters ourselves and doing all the editing because we are the ones who are really fast. Gacha Life 2 came around, and then Emily sort of petered out a little bit. Aiden dropped out entirely because he wanted to wait until the actual release came out. There was like static post or was a PC version, anything that would make editing something easier. Only to then, of course, make Mrs. Dysart, which I took personally, so that I sabotaged him. But we've talked about that already. Yeah. So, but during all that, I was already working on this scene, and so I don't like if I was gonna cut any scene from the video, it would have had to have been that one, because arguably, like, we know, like, we're gonna see the princess now, so we're gonna get that impression anyway. It's also like a tradition that sort of died out in theater anyway. It's not really, you don't see that in modern plays anymore. But yeah, I kept it in because it was the only thing that was done. So yeah, why not? And also because it sets this up.
With the extended thanks of her and his majesty, wise rulers of this fine kingdom with a name that's impossible to pronounce.
You mean Volden?
That, yes. I now present to you...
I will say that voicing more characters myself means that I'm able to make more jokes about pronunciation, because I know that I'm gonna get the mispronunciations right, as well as when it has to be correct, and people will actually get that joke, because otherwise it'll be just like, oh, well, that must have been the error from the VA. Nope, deliberate.
The second born of Voldoon, the resplendent, the gracious, the modest, the refined, the philanthropic, Princess Moesha.
Most unorthodox.
Woohoo! Happy birthday to me!
Yep. So remember what I just said about setting up a character in the yeah, that was the deceit. That was the subversion of expectations right there. Ah, my favorite thing to do in a gacha video. You think the princess is going to be all prim and proper and refined, much like Hyacinth, who is there to serve as a contrast for her later on? Yeah, nope. She enters in a jetpack. I think that was also like the inciting idea behind the people above, was the fact that they're talking like in that princess video we were reviewing like a few weeks ago, where we're like, what would it be funny if like a princess just like showed up in a jetpack or something like that? Like that was the way that she like exited down. I can't remember like got to that. And I was like, yeah, that would be funny. And so when it came time, Gacha Life 2 came out, and yeah, that was the premise, which is also a thing that Aiden mentioned to me that was gonna like set me back, because it's gonna be a very complicated thing to do. First of all, Aiden knows that I can do smoke effects, which is one of the things that he pointed out. He knows I can do that because I did that for Fallen Angels. That when Abraxas appears from a puff of smoke. In fact, I suggested that in episode 3 of Fallen Angels when Thanatos showed up, but he didn't know to do that, so that was why Thanatos just kind of like appears in the rooms like, who are you? I am Death. But yeah, with Abraxas, I got the chance to show off what that was like. And if anything, like I guess also the remake of episode 4 with the aura that was like the emerging and contracting and expanding, yeah. So he knows that I can pull that off. He knows I can just find a green screen effect and do that very easily in post-production. But that was the thing that he was like, this is going to be really too hard to make. So I put a note in the script, whoever does this, don't have the smoke effects, I will do that. But yeah, as it turns out, that was I'm glad about that, because the jetpack, the way that it is in Gacha Life 2, it's like the smoke, of course, everyone would be coming from the back anyway. So having that on a different layer would have been much harder to mask overall. Although not as hard to mask as these thrones. The reason why it's so the Makeda's crown is so ingrained in me is because those thrones are not part of the Gacha background. I found those on Free Pick, rearranged them so that the 4 of them, because there's 4, because obviously Moesha's supposed to sit down, so she needs one herself. So the 4 of them would be on that staircase in the actual gacha background, and then mask them so like they were part of the background. The problem is that the characters I'd already animated them to move and react to what was going on, because I mean, why would I just cut away from the angle and just do mostly static poses? Couldn't have made it easy for myself at all, could I? So yeah, I rented this scene out and I realized, oh wait, they're sitting on nothing right now. So I did a whole thing again and went through with each of these and like copied and pasted, and like I started out, I ended last night and woke up today masking thrones into the background. So just as well I discovered that. But yeah, Michaela's crown poking out at the top of that, top of her throne because you can see more of it was a big issue. Because with the king and queen, their heads are blocking the top of the chairs for the most part. But no, Michaela had to be short. Oh well.
Like a demon.
Yeah, I love her expressions. I want to like convey again, visually convey gremlin child. What better way to do that than just use like all of the most grotesque gacha mouths for her? There's also like a big practice. It's not big practice, but this is something that you know the channel Overanalyzing Avatar, the one that overanalyzes Avatar. Yeah. Well, in the first episode, The Boy in the Iceberg, he pointed out like how characters' first lines would immediately characterize them. So that's why I was trying to bear in mind with Moesha, just be like, how about it to me, just like running around in a jetpack, like all of that tells you way more than the Perry Mortons ever thought was possible, because they just didn't know. No one knew what to expect. And back outside, this is the scene everyone remembers, apparently, even though it just came out today, but this is the one that everyone talks about.
Let me through! I must get past! Make way! Let me through as well! Okay, let me squeeze through this Oh, my goodness, I took over your marketing stand. My apologies, I'm in such a hurry, I can't stay! I can't stay right now! Make way! Let me
Slow down, sir. What is the meaning of...
Okay, so that's that I got that idea from Goblin Slayer Abridged and just amped it up even further, because he's a frantic person with a piece of face who's got a breakthrough. He's not going to care about it. Originally, there was supposed to be like a whole establishing shot thing in scene 2 where we saw like a bunch of other people, so he was gonna like be running past them, but we still don't see him. But yeah, now I understand why Abridged series do a lot of jokes with where you can't see the character on screen, because it's way funny to imagine what on earth is going on and to actually see it sometimes. And again, I had a lot of fun playing Emil. It was supposed to be, when we cast the show originally, Aiden said he might want to be Emil until I actually wrote the characters out. And I was like, I'm gonna be this guy. But yeah, I know it's not. I know. Maybe I'm like more kid experimental with myself, because I know that I'm not gonna get that. I'm not gonna have that like cut out. Because all the time when obviously people have their own like other visions, so leaving this kind of ad libs in doesn't always work. But yeah, there you go. If I'm in charge of the scene, it's all staying. I say it's all staying. It's not all staying in. That sequence I trimmed down by like a factor of 3 essentially. I was just there trying to like think off the top of my head what was going on, just him panicking for ages and just whatever came on top of came into my head, because I knew it was going to be masked by sound effects. So yeah, just was there screaming into a microphone for about 3 minutes. Not 3 minutes, actually. 2 minutes maybe. Anyway, here he is. Speaking of drawn out scenes. Yeah, this is from Pokemon Bridged. Wait for it. Is he done? Nope. Carries on. Again, I trimmed that down too. I over-recorded to make sure I wasn't like missing anything. I could go for as long as I wanted, because
Look, whatever it is as impressive as it is for you to run so fast at your age, we cannot grant you passage without an invitation.
Look, I'm not here to attend some birthday party. I seek an audience with the Queen.
Yeah, well, the Queen's a little busy right now, so no invitation, no entry.
Oh, how silly of me. I actually do have an invitation. Let me just find it. Yes, it.
And that's what it's had no footage for, but yeah.
The other pocket, yes. Other side. Yes, it.
Why aren't they wearing night helmets? That would have been a great idea, because they wouldn't have had to animate their mouths. Gosh, that's such a good idea. I should have done that. And it couldn't be positive for too long. This is also the scene with the backwards hand, but we haven't got there yet.
Does that feel right? No, not that. Ah, okay, here we go.
Nice try, friend.
Ta-da!
It looks nothing like our invitations.
Yeah.
What even is that? What is that?
It's my own personal card. For all your highly magnetic needs.
Oh no, it's falling out of his. I guess you know what? It's between his fingers. That's the excuse. There you go. It's between his fingers and not falling out of his hand.
But we don't have any magnetic needs.
Here! My apologies to you both, but I'm afraid this matter cannot wait any longer. The world must be made aware that the people above are indeed very real.
You know, shouldn't that sentence have ended with there? So then it would have rhymed. So, like, the people above are there.
Like, you know, if I was going for a rhyme in that situation, yes. I did that for the usher, but yeah, maybe not for Emil. The people above
Just
are
kind of
indeed there.
casually
I know.
rhyme.
Hmm.
I like casual rhyming.
I suppose. I mean, yeah, I'm a fan too. I mean, obviously, but yeah.
I like rhyming when it fits the timing.
Of course. In the words of Aiden, rhyming is timing and the hip hyming. He actually said that once. I don't know what video it was in. Of the streams.
It might have been rhyme
One of the FNL
time.
videos.
Rhyme
No, I
time.
think it was like, oh,
was-
maybe. Actually, I think I just casually. Oh no, it was Running with You episode 2 because I said without further ado on with the review of Running with You episode 2, and then he went rhyming is the timing of the hip hyming.
Yeah.
That's where it was. We did do another rhyme time actually. That was fun.
I need to catch up on my rhyming then. I just remember that session by, can I do it in French? Sure. Do you know words that rhyme? No.
I mean, a lot of them, I would say.
Yeah, there was a
If
lot of
anything, there's
them.
like
but
multiple endings that all sound exactly the same.
it was, I don't, it was, no, because you gave me a stupidly hard word. So I was also trying to figure out a rhyme. And I was like, what the hell am I meant to do for this?
I mean, that's the goal, is to like trip up the other person. So there you go, aim of the game. Also, KW asked before about this this end screen, but there's nothing to click on here. And what I was gonna say in the video is like, wait for it, because actually, like after this, the subscribe thing goes, after it finishes. Yeah, then it appears, not on this video because it's obviously downloaded, but on YouTube itself, the subscriber thing will appear and the new videos will appear right after that point. So you're like, if I want to subscribe, but I can't do that now. Oh, there it is. There you go. It works. Well, I hope it works anyway. We'll see what happens in the video, see how it performs. But yeah, regardless of how it performs, at least it's out there. At least it exists. And my goodness, does it exist, finally. I am free. I mean, obviously not done it because the series must go on. I mean, I've set all this stuff up. I clearly am not going to stop now, but as far as dealing with anything to do with Gacha Life 2 beta, I think I can park that for now. Maybe give or take a few swimming poses. Depends on like how quickly, I guess, musical episodes versus actually versus like, just taking a break or using the Gacha Club itself. Speaking of other Gacha versions, actually, I was going to mention this to Aiden at the end of the video, but I never got around to mentioning it to him. He has noticed, but today was supposed to be the release of a different video that I never worked on because of this project. Today's the 5th anniversary of Sakura Dismay, my first Gacha video.
Ah!
Yeah, he's been like gunning at me to try to get a remake of that, but I never even started it.
Only the best song with the best character. No bias there. Definitely not her voice actor. The best character.
No, it's not.
Best. Oh
It's not
my
like everyone's
god.
supposed to hate her.
Okay, well, I love her. She's in my heart.
Hmm.
Also,
I mean, yeah,
I'm in
obviously
her
the audience
vocal
aren't supposed to hate
cords,
her, but the
but
characters are. Yeah, of course.
and
I will
one of
always be
my
with you
OCs is a
every
character in The
time
Mean
you.
Girl. She could love Frida. Might be a bit shifty because she's an adult, but you know.
Well, I was gonna say what I was. Oh yeah, I forgot what we were talking about here. Yeah, never mind.
Old one, outdated.
Oh well. Maybe I'll wait another year for the video, or maybe not. Maybe when Gacha Life 2 actually comes out, I'll make a remake music video. And it'll be like the 5 years and a bit. I don't know.
All right,
We'll
guys,
see,
I'm
because,
making a
again,
10-minute cover. I'm making a 10-minute cover for this anniversary. Give me 20 minutes.
What do you mean a 10-minute cover? The song is 3 minutes long. What are you gonna do?
No,
Sing
I mean
everything
like
at
give me 10
3.3 times
minutes.
the speed?
I mean like give me 10 minutes. I'll get a cover.
Was Frida.
Give me 10 minutes. You'll get a voice actor cover, guys.
Okay.
Don't know the
Guess we'll have
words
to change
off
that
by
to,
heart
like...
at all, but gonna try.
I was
I
gonna
love this
say,
bit.
it has... I remember showing that video in drama school because we had like a whole meeting about like how like actors' profiles and social media. And it just so happened that that video had come out fairly recently. It was before the music goes, so I couldn't show that off, but you know, I had that there, and yeah, people were really impressed with like how that turned out. It's amazing. In order to make your gacha videos seem impressive, just show people who aren't in the gacha community. All right. But yeah, we'll see. I think I also did re-record last year when I did like the whole like a few months that month after I finished, where I was still access to like the booth at university. I had to get some other video remakes out there, but also there's other songs to do. That's another thing that I know that Aiden's gonna ask me about because I started it and technically finished it, but I want to improve it because hey, I can't rush everything in life. But yeah, like final thoughts on People Above. I mean, there's pretty much every scene in here. There's something that I would have done different. I would have added, not removed because I would remove like a bunch of it. But ultimately, I'm so relieved like how much of that I was able to salvage because Aiden knows that I'm bad at minimalism, but I've improved on that. Like this is supposed to be like a minimalistic project where not everything is reliant on magic, but there's some far-fetched visuals out there, like like a magnetic card or something that like attaches two knights together, or a princess flying around in a jetpack. But for the most part, everything was fairly straightforward. But I still needed like a little bit of time to establish all the stuff I wanted to do, to introduce a deceit, and of course, to make two long, drawn-out jokes in quick succession that seem to have gone down extremely well. So it needs to be like that. That's also why this wasn't ready a week and a half earlier, before Mrs. Dysart even was a thing. Because yeah, I can either write something from the beginning, like Mrs. Dysart, where every episode is super short on purpose, so it can be released weekly, or I can be like, let's cut down what we can, do closed casting, do all the recording before Gacha Life 2 even comes out, so we have the advantage of time and everything, and hope for the best and still try to get this out without sacrificing quality. And that seems to be the way to go. Does it take out my free time insanity? Yes, it does, but oh well. Here it worked out in the end, and of course, by a margin of about 15 minutes, we got the title. Let's go. Another world record on the belt. Love that. But oh well, that's where we leave things for now. Next episode will probably be done on the PC version, assuming it doesn't just have custom poses, in which case I will hopefully get a BlueStacks update. Who even knows at this point? Whatever, please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters. So it does already. And on that note, until next time,